Good evening, everybody. So this is a review of the student handbook from the year 2020-21. So just kind of the sections of the handbook. We have the introduction, which just introduces all the staff in the district, the goals for the year as a district, like what we want to achieve in testing, and just important dates as far as like prom for seniors, when we have the PEP assemblies, things like that. General information. So that's the next section. That's going to be your office staff, the hours of the school, so when it's open to when it's closed, the schedule, so the A/B day schedule, the calendar for the whole year, which includes when we get out for winter break, Thanksgiving breaks, stuff like that. Our code of conduct, the attendance policy, and if you're going to withdraw. So the attendance policy also deals with tardies, showing up late throughout the school day, like where you check in, stuff like that. Students' rights and responsibilities is the next section, and that's one of the main sections that talks about students, what they're able to do in the district, where they're supposed to do, or what they're supposed to do. So they have visitors, where the visitors check in and stuff like that, where they enter and exit. Hallway expectations, which is written on a warrior matrix is what we call it. And it just tells you how to behave in the hallway. ID cards, which are needed to get lunch and any other thing that you're going to purchase within the school. Dress codes, drug and alcohol policies, lockers, and then like what you do with your electronic devices. So the rules for that as well. Safety procedures and responsibilities is the next section. We have school closings, drills, which include, tornado, fire, earthquake, all that stuff. Hotlines, bullying, harassment, our policies for that, fighting, and then any other concerns that we have. Student services is the next section, which includes the bus routes, the food, the library, the counseling, and the nurse's office. And then you have academics, which is graduation requirements, A+, GPA, anything grades related, and then all the activities and athletics that we offer. And then guidelines for Smithville discipline. We have a warrior matrix that tells you how students are supposed to behave in all areas of the building. So updates to the handbook, people that are involved, it's mainly the assistant principals. They each get assigned a section, and they're going to update that section and add if they need to, or revise anything they need to that section, and then it gets approved by the board in June. So the process is like this. You recommend it, and it could be anybody. Most of the time it's just the assistant principals that look at it, but if there's a teacher that wanted to recommend something, they could. They recommend stuff in early May. It's explained to the board. The board approves it or disapproves it in June. They update it in July. Like they update all the things that they've got approved, and then they send it to parents, staff, and faculty in August via email. It's also posted on the school website. So again, sharing the student handbook, parents, students, faculty. We don't send out a hard copy. Instead, we just email it to everybody at the beginning of the year. We go over it in schools individually. So we go over each section individually during our warrior times. And then everyone else gets it by just looking on the school website. And so they always have access to it. Changes or recommendations to the handbook. Kind of went over this before, but just to kind of touch on it again. The faculty's role, again, they can recommend anything they want as long as it's within reason. And then the assistant principal, they recommend it to an assistant principal. The assistant principal approves or disapproves of this. Like they say, oh yeah, it's a good idea, I'm going to add it. So then they change it. It gets approved by the board, and then that's the way it goes. So really we just do this to update as the times change. So like this year there's COVID policies. It just kind of depends on the year. So last year we kind of focused more on the electronics because that was an issue within our school district, and so on. So again, as times change, we update the handbook accordingly. That's pretty much the student handbook. Do you guys have any questions for me? And if you don't, I appreciate it. You guys have a good evening. Don't hesitate to reach out to me. My email is jordant@smithville.k12.mo.us.